NFL Week 1 top stacks on DraftKings to attack tournaments. Guys, we're going to take a look at some of my favorite stacks for NFL Week 1. These are correlative plays, quarterback tied to wide receivers, tied to their pass catchers, sometimes with a bring back of a player from the other team. Now, before I get into these players, we're going to go over 6 players that I'm excited to stack in NFL Week 1. I'm going to just talk real quick about why we stack in tournaments. We have back tested this for many, many years. And effectively, in tournaments, there is only one definitive thing that we know before we start building our lineup. What we know is that if our players are not having outsized performances, we are not going to win this tournament. We're not going to take first place. And when you're attacking a tournament, it's important that your mindset is first place or bust. Never, never, never build in a tournament to try to min cash. We are trying to win the tournament. Right? And so if we know as a lock button fact that if I choose this quarterback and they have a subpar performance, we're not going to win this tournament, we can then extrapolate that if that quarterback must have an outsized performance, what is likely to be happening around them? And that's where we get our correlation. That's where we can say, hey, if the quarterback's throwing for 4 or 5 touchdowns, somebody's got to be catching touchdown passes from this quarterback. Of course, there is the exception of the running quarterbacks, although it's a minor exception where occasionally those guys can get there without dragging their guys with them. But more often than not, even those QBs like Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts require stacking with at least one teammate in order to pull it off. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the criteria for picking a good stack, right? So we want to look at a number of different factors, and especially factors that have led to tournament wins in the past. So perfect world, we're looking for favored QBs in high total games, or at least in situations where their team has a high team total. Occasionally, we can go to road underdogs, but we generally want to avoid home underdog players in this format. So with all that being said, let's take a look at the game tiles for NFL Week 1, and we'll get a quick idea of where the game and team totals are, and we'll pick some spots here, and we'll just explain why some of these spots make a lot of sense. So real quick, as I'm looking it over, we see some high team totals here. We got the Patriots 23.25, not bad. The Bucks road favorites, 25-point team total. Remember, a home underdog is probably the least good type of play, so we'll watch out for that. But we've got road favored Bucks team, 25 points. So that's Baker Mayfield stacks. Okay, here we've got the Colts Miami game. Now a pick'em. This one looks crazy. It's crazy that it's a pick'em now. Lines are moving like crazy here because this was Colts favored. We bet Miami earlier plus 2.5. So this is really interesting that has moved. So we're looking at team totals here. Commanders 25.75. We got the Jaguars here, 25 points. Bengals 26.5. So the Broncos, San Francisco, 23 points. Green Bay 24.75, and probably nothing going on here. So this effectively, this is the outline. We're seeing it in real time. We want to target teams with high team totals. And in our perfect world, the second component that I'm looking for in a stack, well, there's really 3. I'm looking for quarterbacks connected to wide receivers that are priced well, or at least a good enough value that I'm excited about that wide receiver. So that is sort of step 2. We want to make sure that the team doesn't have a dominating running back that's going to take all of the touchdowns. That's kind of part 3 of this discussion. So we want to get quarterbacks with high totals on teams where their wide receivers are priced somewhat acceptably, so we're not creating such a crazy expensive stack. Ideally, we already like the wide receivers and maybe tight end connected to that quarterback. And then finally, we want to avoid teams, if possible, that have a dominant running back that can take all the touchdowns. Although, again, doesn't matter as much because, again, we're playing for the quarterback outsized performance day. Like a Jared Goff type of situation where when you play him, there's always a risk that Montgomery and Gibbs are going to take all the touchdowns. But when they don't, and when he happens to throw for all those touchdowns, great things can happen. So let's start at the very, very top. And we're talking stacks to make for NFL Week 1 in tournaments. And right at the very top, there's a trio of quarterbacks that are all great plays in NFL Week 1 and very stackable. I'll start with Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels at home against the Giants, 25 and 3/4 point total there, a really good spot. And we know who to stack him with. Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, Zach Ertz, right? So Jaden Daniels is a running quarterback. So generally, I'm only going to stack him with one of his playmakers. And, in this case, it's an easy stack with Terry McLaurin or Deebo Samuel. I think I favor even Deebo Samuel a little bit in Week 1, just because I think Deebo might get a little bit of the kind of running back treatment. Not sure. It's really more of a guess than anything else. Next, we have, of course, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is going to be a player that everybody's excited to stack in NFL Week 1. We already love Jamar Chase. We already love T. Higgins. I would mix Mike Gesicki into that mix. So Joe Burrow stacks. And in this case, the flip side of this game with Cleveland. So I want us to think about if Joe Burrow is out there doing his thing, going crazy. Most of the games last season, when he did his thing and went crazy, they were just overall high-scoring games. I think a lot of people forgot about it. Like, he went on an insane run last year, but most of the games where he put up his monster numbers, close game, high scoring. 30-24. Here's another one. 37-27, 27-20. That's not that crazy. 27-34-35, 27-34, 38-44. What do these games all have in common? 44 points scored by the Bengals in this one, where he put up a 30. So what's going on in these games when Joe Burrow is having an outsized performance is the game is blowing up, generally on both sides. Generally on both sides. A lot of these games blow 34-35, 27-34, because the Bengals defense is really bad. We like that. I want to stack quarterbacks whose teams have bad defenses. If Dak Prescott was on the slate, be stacking him up. Joe Burrow stacks, and a bring back from the Browns is certainly in play. On the Browns side, Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, either one of those two, even David Njoku, very much in play. So we could do a Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, or Gesicki, or Higgins and Gesicki, no Jamar Chase. If we want to get cute, try to take down a milli. That's the way you do it when you're trying to take the million down. Now, Joe Burrow is a pocket passer, so he is the type of quarterback that we don't want. I don't want him in single stacks. Generally, I want him with two. Week 1, there's so much value. I kind of suspect that double stacking is not going to be the best way to go. But so I want to try to massage 2 in there. And one interesting way, and also to get unique in a popular lineup. So one way to get a little unique here might be, rather than including Jamar Chase, you almost just go T. Higgins, or go T. Higgins and Gesicki or something like that, to get a little different and weird to try to take down $1 million in this giant tournament. So definitely interested in this stack, and the bring back with one of Jeudy or Cedric Tillman. Either one is fine. Njoku, acceptable as well. So if Burrow is blowing up in this game at Cleveland, there's a pretty good chance that Cleveland is doing their thing. They're going to be out there slanging it. Joe Flacco, stackable on the flip side of this game as a low-priced stack. So it's also totally acceptable if we wanted to start something off cheaper. Look at how expensive this starting stack is with Chase, Higgins, and Burrow. It leaves only $4,700 left for the rest of the team, which is restrictive indeed. Well, what if you go get a little crazy with it? Now, again, Flacco, it's probably going to be popular this week, so keep that in mind, and it's fine. But Flacco, and we mix in a Jerry Jeudy, and you can now really, that really changes the salary situation on this, and you save a ton of money. So Burrow / Flacco, Jaden Daniels. Next up, Baker Mayfield stacks. This is the last of the high-end stacks that I'm going to talk about. I love this game. This Tampa-Atlanta game really pops. Let's go over and take a look at the lines here. 25-point total on the road for the Bucs. Home underdog Falcons, likely to make a game of it. So I really like both sides of this game. And game stacks seem to be the best way to attack it. So if I want to play this game again, and I want to stick with the Mayfield side. Mayfield is the quarterback that seems underpriced relative to his 23 fantasy point per game production from last year. Plus, I already like the pass catchers connected to Mayfield. Kate Otten banged up in this one, which leaves pretty much just Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka as the only two sort of viable wide receivers on the Bucs. So I also just already like London quite a bit in this game. So it just creates a very easy combination of Mayfield, Evans, Egbuka, Drake London with the bring back, build the rest of your, plug in your core plays at the rest of the positions. And, I will be hammering this specific stack quite a bit in NFL Week 1 in tournaments. I think it is a winner. Bijan Robinson could be included here as well, of course. But I prefer Drake London. I like wide receiver versus wide receiver. And I also, Bijan, I kind of prefer anything but home underdog running backs. So I think that Bijan being the most expensive running back on the slate, and there's a Christian McCaffrey beneath him, and there's all these other great buys a little bit lower. I don't feel as necessary to get up to Bijan, although I don't mind it. Okay, now we just talked about 3 what I'll call high-end, high-price stacks. Let's go to some of the low-price stacked, some of those dirty stacks. Don't feel good. Don't feel good when you're making it. Like, this guy sucks. Why is he cheap? But these are the types of stacks and approaches that win tournaments, right? So you got to do it, right? So let's scroll down the old list and remember some of our interesting, maybe higher scoring game spots. And I'm going to get into the first one here, which is Drake May playing at home against the Raiders. Drake May is priced at 5,500 on DraftKings. And the most exciting thing about Drake May is just all the talk about his rushing upside. The quarterback talking about we need to get more designed runs for Drake May. It's not like the kid wasn't running it last year. 6.6, 4.55, 3.483. So the rushing attempts are there. The yardage was there last year. 30. We want to see a little more than this. 30. I'd like to see those numbers closer to 50, 55 rushing yards. But just understand, 55 rushing yards for a quarterback is equivalent to throwing for a touchdown. It's going to get 5.5 points. So we want these rushing quarterbacks. He's at home. He's taking on a Raiders offense that's a Raiders defense that's not very good, and a Raiders offense that is improved significantly from what it was last year. So there's a real chance that this Patriots team can pop a little bit in Week 1. Drake May can get it done. I'm not going crazy with it, but the comfortable stack is Drake May to Stephon Diggs. Secondarily, I would do if I wanted to double stack it, I might include Hunter Henry in there. As far as the other pass catchers for the Patriots, it's really mysterious right now. There's not a single one of them that I feel really good about. Obviously, the rookie Kyle Williams is there, but I don't even know if he's starting, and Demario Douglas is there. He could be okay, but it's really unclear how everybody outside of Stephon Diggs will wind up in terms of snack count. So I would just stick with Diggs, Hunter Henry, and Drake May stacks. Really inexpensive stack to build as well. So when you start with this stack, it's just super low cost. And again, if this is working, there's a pretty decent chance that Las Vegas is doing something in this game, the Raiders. So we might bring it back with Bowers, or even more, maybe, this might be a little more FanDuel because of the price point, but maybe even an Ashton Jeanty. I'm going to lean no to Ashton Jeanty a little bit here. I'd probably lean a little more, maybe like a Jacoby Myers in there, or a Brock Bowers for the bring back, but definitely a situation where I want to game stack that game. Moving on, in the low-cost stack number 5, right? We're up to number 5. And stack number 5, we're going to go with Trevor Lawrence. He'll burn your food like Florence. You know how it goes. T-Law. Brand new coaching staff in place. Liam Cohen. Travis Hunter is there. No one wants to play Trevor. We don't know. Travis Hunter, Week 1. We may never see Travis Hunter this cheap again. Trevor Lawrence stacks galore in NFL Week 1. I love everything attached to this game. This is a game I think that has potential to blow up. Jacksonville at Carolina, it's got that potential anyway, right? Couple of young, scrappy teams. Both kind of want to show what's going on. Trevor Lawrence got to prove himself with the new offensive coaching staff. Hopefully, finally, this guy has a real coach. I don't know if Trevor Lawrence sucks or the coaches from the Jaguars just have sucked for years. I kind of think it's the coaches, but I'm not sure. So T-Law, Brian Thomas Jr., we already love him. Add in Travis Hunter, who no one will play. Travis Hunter is going to be very low owned. They're going to target this kid a ton. He's an explosive player. He can take it to the house with any touch. His whole thing is his athleticism. We could smash with Travis Hunter this week. And then we can also mix in to the stack some Brenton Strange. So we've got 3 potential players to stack with. If we want to get really strange, if we want to get Brenton level strange, I think Dyami Brown is also on this team, and this would be very much something that you might do in a insane GPP only situation. Dyami Brown at $4,300 is a way worse play than literally almost the entire $4,300 scale of players. So the only reason you would play him is for the Millie Maker sub 1% owned touchdown, which could happen, but I'm not necessarily recommending it. So with Trevor Lawrence, I'm looking to stack him with any 2 of these 4 names right here. Remember, we're looking for a team also without a dominant running back, which is pretty much what Jacksonville is right now. As we set up our stack, and let's say I go a BTJ Hunter stack, I want to bring it back with a piece or 2 from Carolina. So depending on how crazy we want to go, certainly Ted McMillan is the leading option. He should smash. Rookie or not, he's like the only game in town in the passing attack for Carolina. And then, of course, Chuba Hubbard is in the discussion as well. But this starting stack, Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas, Travis Hunter, Ted McMillan, stack number 5. I have a bonus one. So stick around. All right, so we talked through our high-end stacks, of course. Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield. We went down to the lower end. We did Drake May so far, and we've got Trevor Lawrence in there right now. Final stack. Now, I'm going to give a bonus stack here of Joe Flacco. He's the opposite side of that Burrow game. Flacco loves to sling it. In games with the Browns, he was with them a couple of years ago. He was putting up 300 yards every game. He's just out there tossing it around. Interception. He don't care. He's going out having fun. Now, that was the case when he had come in as a backup and like was taking over a starting role. It remains to be seen if when anointed starter, he's as loose with the cannon as he was, in the past when he's come in as a sub and he's like nothing to lose. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm out here slinging it, right? That being said, that's a bonus stack because it's part of that same Bengals game. I love him with Jerry Jeudy, of course, with Tillman. And if you play Flacco, and Njoku as well, if you play Flacco, it is a must to bring it back with players from the Bengals. Because think about this. The Bengals could be dominating the Browns completely. Dominating them. The Browns stink. They can't do anything. It's 43-0. That would not blow my mind at all. They could win 43-0 in this game. And that could happen. And Joe Burrow could have a great game. But what can't happen is the Browns are not winning 43-0. If the Browns are putting up offense in this game, the Bengals will be answering aggressively. So if I build a Flacco stack, it will absolutely have pieces from the Browns, pieces from the Bengals, Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, Gesicki, whatever. It's definitely having, and it's probably having 2 pieces from the Bengals. The better the Browns offense does, the more production the Bengals will put up. Love situations like that because they are virtually locked in. But the final stack of this breakdown, I'm going with none other than my boy, my nemesis, really. I'd say my nemesis. We've done great things together, but we've also done terrible things together. And I'm talking about Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes. New quarterback for the Colts, indoors, in the dome. Daniel Jones is a semi-running quarterback, wins the job from an inept Anthony Richardson. Is Daniel Jones good? I'm leaning no. But he does have occasional productive fantasy performances. I like this game. I like this game situation. First game of the year. The Colts are now even odds. They were favored. It's really, really close game. So give me Daniel Jones. And the stacking is not that easy with Jones. We probably only need to stack with one player. But Jones, like I said, he does get it done with the run. Look at all these rushing yards, 50, 56. And that was with the Giants. They had no offensive line. They were terrible. And now they're playing a Miami defense that's not very good at getting to the passer. So they're playing a subpar defensive unit from Miami. The Colts are at home. Daniel Jones does his best when he's not under pressure, and Miami is not a team to pressure the quarterback all that much. So Danny Dimes, the obvious ones are the most obvious, and actually it's going to be Tyler Warren. So the tight end seems to have been dominating in training camp, and they're going to play him all over the place. So that would be my top choice for him, Tyler Warren, the tight end. Then you've got Josh Downs, who is effectively the number one wide receiver. Josh Downs got a Q tag. I'm not sure what's going on with him. If Downs doesn't play, I'll downgrade Jones a little bit, but the sneaky stack that no one will have, or at least I don't think they will have it now, it's Tuesday, could be wrong. Don't have ownership projections just yet. But the sneaky stack that no one will probably have is Daniel Jones and Adonai Mitchell. Now, Adonai Mitchell absolutely tore it up in training camp this year. He seemed to be he's like the training camp superstar. We've got some injuries. We got to check it out. I mean, Anthony Pierce as well could be Alex Pierce, I believe his name, could be the WR1 for all I know. I think Pittman is hurt. So we'll have to figure out the wide receiver situation. But Adonai Mitchell tore it up in training camp. And how about the inexpensiveness? How about this triple stack? Daniel Jones, A.D. Mitchell, Tyler Warren. You've got almost 6,200 left per position. You could literally do whatever you want with a start like this. Certainly looking to bring it back with pieces from Miami as well. I think that if the Colts are tearing it up, Miami is answering. We put an Achane in there if he's going to be healthy and playing this game out. So nice little stack with a bring back of Devon Achane. And again, Mitchell can be swapped out for Josh Downs, Alex Pierce if he's going to be the starter, or what the hell, Alec Pierce? What's his name there? Yeah, Alec Pierce. So it could be whoever the starter is, we'll know in the next few days. It's probably Downs, but like I said, Adonai Mitchell is the one that really pops for me. So there you have it, guys. 6 stacks plus a bonus for NFL Week 1 attacking tournaments, and really in single entry. I'll be using most of these stacks across all different formats outside of cash games, but I'll use them in all formats, my single entry, my multipliers, and all of that. So let's stack it up. Let's get correlated for NFL Week 1 and build some beautiful lineups. Guys, remember, if you are watching this and the NFL has not kicked off yet, scrolling below, you can see NFL Kickoff 2025, promo code Kickoff 2025, 20% off DFS Army monthly or weekly VIP. We'll see you guys in the Discord. Helmets up.